I woke to darkness. Not the quiet, forgiving kind, but the kind that presses against your eyes, thick and accusing. My body screamed, every nerve lit on fire, but no one came. When they finally did, it wasn't to help. The doctors spoke in clipped tones. "She's not our real daughter," they said. The words were bullets. "We owe her nothing." And they left. I wasn't alive. Not in their eyes. I was already dead. I remembered the accident, the screech of metal, the smell of gasoline, the impact. But even after that, betrayal had a sharper sting than pain. My parents, the people I thought would fight for me, had already counted me out. Weeks before, I'd been welcomed into their home like an heir. I had smiled, learned their habits, laughed at their jokes. I had believed in family. And in return, they taught me trust. Then, they had taught me its price. Recovery was slow. Every step, every breath reminded me of the fragility of flesh and the cruelty of blood ties. But in that silence, a plan took root. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I observed, calculated. Every weakness, every greed, every subtle sign of entitlement, etched into memory. I remembered the first hint of betrayal, a misdelivered letter, a hushed conversation behind my back. They weren't my parents at all. They'd manipulated the law, the paperwork, even the memories I held. And yet, they smiled at me, as if nothing had changed. I let it sink in. Let it simmer. Anger is a poor advisor. Strategy is lethal. I started quietly, small moves at first, gathering proof of their financial misconduct, recording their conversations, tracing assets they thought hidden. I became invisible and dangerous. The real work began when I was strong enough to move without them noticing. I rewrote every expectation they had of me. My hospital bed became an empty stage. I disappeared, leaving only a note. "Check the safe. Every document, every account. It's all yours." I watched from the shadows as they came for me. The house was quiet, too quiet. They expected weakness. They expected tears. They expected me. Instead, they found the note. And then, the panic. The first tremor ran through them when they saw the legal papers, every false claim I had documented, every forged signature exposed. I had left nothing to chance. They read, and read. Each page a revelation, each paragraph a confession they couldn't deny. Faces went white, mouths dry, hands shaking. They had built their empire on lies and stolen identities, and suddenly it was all undone. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. Their horror was my voice. I remembered the irony as I watched them. They had claimed I was nothing, owed nothing, and now I controlled everything. Every account, every secret, every leverage point. I had turned the game inside out. I didn't gloat. Revenge isn't satisfying in shouts or tears. It's precise, clean, and absolute. I let them unravel in their own greed. Each realization was a drop of justice in a pond that had once been poisoned. They begged. They offered apologies. They begged again. But it was too late. I had rebuilt myself from the wreckage, sharper, smarter, untouchable. I was no one's property. I was my own. Later, I walked away. The house, the money, the lies, I left them all behind. The world outside was real, raw, and mine to claim. I didn't need their approval, their love, or their recognition. I had survived their betrayal. I had thrived in their absence. And when I thought of the faces they made, white and broken over truths they could never escape, a small, quiet satisfaction warmed me. It wasn't vengeance for the sake of cruelty. It was justice. I hadn't just survived. I had orchestrated my liberation. I learned something in that darkness. In the week they thought I was dead. Pain passes. Betrayal cuts deep. But nothing tastes sweeter than the knowledge that those who wronged you are left staring at the consequences of their own making. They underestimated me, always. And that was the first and last mistake they would ever make.